Hey everyone, this is my collection of puzzles that are either mini puzzles or puzzles I consider easier than a 3x3. There's a couple of nice looking cubes in here, as well as some more esoteric puzzles. You can see a keychain cube back here, and some platypuses and some other things. One with some Pyraminxes. Let's spread it out and see what's in here. This is a shot of all the puzzles that are in this box or bucket together. Fair number of duplicates that are in here, but some interesting things as well. I'm going to bring in for a little closer focus, and we'll look at a couple of puzzles up close. So this is a closer up look. By the way, I've rearranged this whole area. So let's begin with the hearts. Here's the single heart that works kind of like a floppy, where you can move around these sides. I don't know why they made this one as a green one, but this makes a little bit more sense, this pink one. And then there's the linked up ones, the red and white and the pink one. These I think make sense. I have no clue why it was in green and blue, but they're variations. Here I have the scramble cube. This is the cube where it works a bit like a floppy, but you can turn some of these sides independently. Just to clear up any confusion, this is the original puzzle. This thing called a super floppy is not, even though it came out before. This is the original. This is the scramble cube. There's variations on the floppy cube that have come out. For example, there's this one where you have a mix between a floppy and a mirror blocks cube, so you can get some strange kinds of shapes when you mix this one up. Excuse me. There's also a couple of sticker variations. For example, this one is based off of the Apple iPad, or I mean the iPhone. That's what I meant to say. So this side shows apps, and then this side shows the numbers, and then here's some more buttons for the iPhone. This is my really puzzle. This is just a floppy cube where pieces have gotten taken off, so now it's just a trivial puzzle. You can turn the tips, but you're not really going to need to figure out anything in order to solve it. Really? And a two-layer super square one. This puzzle is still problematic because the core has to get lined up with these outer pieces in order to turn it, and sometimes it's not lined up, and it's still a problem with the two-layer as well as with any four-layer super square one. Over here I have a 1 by 2 by 2. This is a trivial puzzle, but it's more like a fiddle puzzle. If you're bored, you want to fiddle with something, then you could play with this. There's some other two-layer ones. This is a regular domino type puzzle. And the reason it's called a domino puzzle is because this is what came out first. This is a true Rubik's domino puzzle, where there are domino pieces. Excuse me, domino pieces shown on either side in black and white, and actually have the dots on it and everything. And since then, this puzzle has been called a domino puzzle, but it's really a 2 by 3 by 3. There's a couple of different companies that have come up with this puzzle recently, and there's also variations on it. For example, let's see if I can find one. Well, I'll just use this one. For example, for this one, it has a circle on the inside as well. The outside does not turn with the inner, but here, on this side, it does. They both turn together. So the object is to solve all these pieces internally and externally. Here's another variation on this same puzzle over here. Well, really on this puzzle, where you just round the edges. And also, there's a type of a Rubik's cheese type of puzzle, two-layer. But this one's a bit different from a cheese in that you can turn these inner sides as well, which you can't do on a cheese. Over here I have a Tetraminx. This is just a standard Tetraminx. It solves exactly the same way as a Pyraminx, except there are no trivial tips. There are several different versions of the Pyraminx. This is a Tomy one. It's actually still in pretty good condition. And here's a Meffert's Blind Man Pyraminx. This side has cushions on it. This side is felt. This side is regular stickers or kind of sticky. And this one has stickers with grooves on them. So that's how you can tell. So you can do a true blindfold solve with that puzzle because all the sides are different. Here's one with tiles on it from Meffert's, as well as the Japanese prismatic sticker version. There's also a cheap transparent version. This one used to turn well, but now it almost feels like it's falling apart in your hands. So not so good anymore. Here is a rare puzzle that isn't. What I mean to say is it's a head puzzle, but it's not a 2x2x2 puzzle. This is the character Moore from the movie Treasure Planet. It was a commercial failure, and so I don't think there was a lot of demand for the puzzle itself. And so I think it became a little bit rare, and the people who got it didn't really appreciate it, I guess. And so it's a bit hard to find this puzzle. Let's see. Back here I have a puzzle where you can turn these cars around. The cars are supposed to match up with these colors on the side of the puzzle. So orange car in this orange line, brown car in this brown line. And you can also rotate the puzzle on the other axis as well. Here's a Platypus puzzle. There's a couple of different interesting color variations that are out there now. This is Spider-Man, with Spider-Man and his alternate costume, as well as his enemies over here, and Sandman over here. And also there is a Greenpeace type one, where you can save the green, save the flower, save the animal, and save the sea. And apparently you do that by solving a platypus. Here's a card version of the platypus. There's a standard version over here. Brain twist. This one looks really weird. You can turn the tips, but the real interesting part is you can open this puzzle up and change the sides up entirely, and then twist the tips again. And that's how you mix it up. You have to turn the tips and then turn it inside out. It's pretty impressive when you see this puzzle in person. Okay, here's a 2x2, but this one is special, excuse me, in that you can turn these internal pieces. At least that's the theory. In practice, though, these sides are so hard to turn internally that it's almost not worth the effort. People almost just don't bother. But there are variations on this puzzle. Here, those sides are filled up with a ball cover, so it's a little bit easier to turn the side, but it's still very difficult. And then that same type of puzzle was transformed into this type, where there are actual pieces on the edges. And so you can turn it into kind of a super 2x2x4. So you can turn this and then turn these pieces on the side as well. Alright, here's a 48 puzzle. This is a 2x2, where you can actually turn it, and you can I'm sorry. This one isn't very worked in, but you can also turn the tips. So it's kind of interesting. Over here we have a 2x2x3. And a 2x2x4. This one's from the Rubik's company in Japan. Actually, they're both out of Japan. This is a 2x2x3. As well as the original floppy, if I didn't show that already. Okay, there are also a bunch of mini puzzles in this bucket. I'm going to bring those in here and make some room. I have first these mini puzzles. This one's interesting in that it's bigger than some of these normal minis, but it's not full size either. This would be the size of a full size. And so it's about 2/3 as big, and it comes in its own container, which I haven't seen before. It's a bit unique in that regard. Here's a more standard 3x3 mini, sticker variation of some sort, as well as a couple of 1x1x1s. This one's a white one and a black one. They almost feel like dice. As well as this. This is a Maru cube, by the way. Whoa! Well, that was not expected. I was about to say I like these, but I'm not sure I can say that anymore. I've never had that happen before. This is a Maru cube, by the way. I was going to say that they almost work like a speed cube, but I don't think speed cubes are supposed to blow up like that. It literally blew up on me. Let me bring this back so I can show what happened. The core broke. If you can see this. This is part of the core, and this is the other part of the core. It just completely broke apart on me. Okay, and here are a bunch of keychain cubes. Here you have some Meffert's Challenge keychain. It works like this is a mini cube, really, at the core, as well as a couple of standard 3x3 cubes, Sudoku type stickers, and here's a mini Siamese 2x2 cube keychain. Over here, there is, I'm going to move these aside because these are essentially the same. What I have here is a mini Pyraminx puzzle, old style. And it still works. It's pretty good. It's impressive. You could use this as a keychain now, even though it's pretty old. And then here's a keychain, Rubik's Twist. Those are pretty common, along with this 2x2, which is actually also pretty common, but hard to turn. With all spherical puzzles, it's hard to get a grip on them sometimes, and if they stick together, it's really hard to turn them. This is an France FIFA World Cup one. Ta-da! As well as this smiley face whippet. That's nice. Okay. Excuse me. Here's another set of mini cubes. These are not keychain cubes. Here's a mini barrel cube, which I haven't seen much of. It surprised me when I picked it up because I thought it was a regular size, and instead it was just a mini version of the puzzle. And a bunch of Siamese 2x2s that I have in here. These aren't, especially this version, it's not that much fun to play with simply because it feels so fragile in your hands. All the pieces are hollow, and this one's a little bit better. but not much. So these don't get played with much. They're all just, you know, Siamese 2, 3, 4 connected together. This is much nicer. These are mini metallic cubes, metal cubes. I mean, they're heavy. They are full-on metal cubes. You know, and they're heavy. They really have some weight behind them. I call them heavy metal. But there's a problem with them in that when you turn the sides, it almost feels like they're unscrewing on you. Like these centers are unscrewing on you. And so it's difficult to enjoy turning them. They're more of a paperweight type of puzzle. Okay, last but certainly not least, I think this is well, I don't even think. These are my most interesting keychain puzzles over here. Okay, first of all, a bunch of missing link keychains. This is an original missing link keychain. It's actually different from these, and you can tell by the color that this is not original, and then this one is. That's pretty nice. There's a mini Pyraminx keychain. These are, I don't think these are available anymore, as well as a mini E&I puzzle keychain. This is the latest version of the Whip It puzzle, along with some actual, you know, Whip It puzzles. These aren't as interesting. Here's a mini Rubik's Revolution. You can actually play this on the go. And a mini Rubik's Snake or Rubik's Twist. This is one of the original types of keychain ones. As well as a keychain Atomic Chaos. This is kind of impractical. I don't know how many people are going to want to just play Atomic Chaos on the go, but if you wanted to, there you can. And a 15 puzzle, which has been around for forever. But it still looks really nice. Excuse me. Here's a mini Babylon Tower. This, I think, is the best looking keychain cube that I have. I've always liked Babylon Towers, and they have the shaded balls going all the way down the puzzle. So it's really impressive looking. It turns and everything. So it's a Babylon Tower except smaller. Here's an original style. Here's an original style 3x3. This is how small the original 3x3 keychain cubes were. Here's one from today, and here's the other one. And it's really only 2/3 of the size. So you can really tell how small they really made these. These are the smallest production ones that I know of. This one's pretty hard to find. This is a keychain Scube. From what I understand, I think there were problems with this internal core, and so I think Meffert stopped making these simply because they kept breaking. But this one's still working. And this one is a 4x4, you know, Varicon, 4-layer Varicon puzzle, old school. This one works pretty well. And this one over here, I think, is the most interesting one. This is a keychain Whip It calendar puzzle, which I don't think I've really seen before. I'm trying to bring it up at the camera so you can get a slightly closer look, but I don't think it's focusing as well as I want it to. But it shows the days of the week at the top, and then it shows the actual numbers, and you can form any month out of the year out of this puzzle. I've only seen this a couple of times, and so it's pretty rare to see it. I think that covers everything. Looking to see if I missed something. But I think that's it. And so this is my collection of puzzles I consider easier than a 3x3.